The United States of America or the United States of Entitlement? From her.
Everybody in Cleveland, low minority, got Obama phone.
To him.
All paid for by our wonderful tax dollars.
To them, prisoners getting free phones from the feds on your dime, and it doesn't stop there. Big corporations now dependent on food stamps for their bottom line. We report, you decide. Plus, it's Obamacare versus the free market, and our liberty hangs in the balance. The Supreme Court judge slamming the gavel on companies opposed to Obamacare for religious reasons, suggesting they stop whining and start paying up if they don't like it. And then, throw the flag, the president's labor board teaming up with unions and muscling their way into college sports while watching the big game may never be the same. Cashing in, spreading the truth, starts right now. Hi, everyone. I'm Eric Bowling. Welcome to Cashin' In. Our Cashin' In crew this week: Wayne Rogers, Jonathan Honig, Michelle Fields, and our libertarian luminary, Juan Williams. Welcome, everybody. Folks, we're living in a country where more and more are riding in the cart and fewer are pulling the damn thing. Here are the numbers that even our good friend Jon Stewart can't distort. In the next 5 years, the federal government will dole out nearly $14 trillion of your money. At the same time, nearly half of all Americans pay no federal income tax at all. America was once filled with proud workers and businesses eager to hire them. We're becoming a nation of freeloaders looking for a way to get paid without ever getting off the couch. As Cato recently pointed out, in 35 states, it pays more to get to the unemployment office than to go to the job site, the plant, or the cubicle. Under Obamonomics, the United States of America is morphing into the United States of Entitlement. More evidence this week. Some big corporations are admitting they, too, are relying on food stamps for their bottom lines, and the government announced plans to give prisoners free cell phones. Jonathan, where are we headed when food stamp surfer dudes and Obama phone ladies are rubbing elbows with big corporations for their fair share of mother's entitlement milk?
Well, the entitlement state continues to grow, Eric, and it's wrong. I mean, welfare entitlements are wrong regardless of who the beneficiary is, whether it's businesses or individuals. It's wrong. It's wrong to take money from one group and give it to another. And it doesn't help those groups either, whether it's the welfare recipients or the supposedly business beneficiaries. I mean, think about all the, quote, beneficiaries of the government-induced housing boom or the ethanol boom. Government force in the economy has bad results, and that's why all this welfare, all this entitlement nation needs to reverse course and fast.
And Michelle, if you lump in some of the other spending, the Medicare and Social Security and whatnot, you're talking about somewhere around 55 or 60% of all spending that the U.S. does going to these welfare programs, at least. And it's going to grow, by the way.
Yeah, the government is basically changing the very fabric of our society, where now everyone expects a handout. I mean, we have over 46 million people on food stamps. That program has more than doubled in the past 5 years, and now we're giving cell phones and bus passes to over 30,000 inmates. Why not fix the economy so that Americans can, I don't know, pay for their own food and for businesses to make a profit without having to rely on corporate welfare? I mean, it's common sense.
And Juan, let's be fair and balanced about this. A couple of big companies this week announced that their bottom lines were affected by food stamps, and for me that's very concerning. But what about you? Where are you on that one?
Well, I mean, I think that you hear from Walmart this time for the first time saying, gee, you know what, in an SEC filing, gosh, our bottom line is going to be affected because of cuts in food stamps. What does that tell you, Eric? It tells you that this affects the entire American economy. Today, I should say yesterday, Friday, you had the increase in food stamps expire because we're now doing better. You see the housing market coming back, the job market coming back, unemployment down. So why are we punishing the poor and people who've been struggling to get a job?
Don't you see that this is a transfer of wealth? You are taking money from hardworking taxpayers, and where does it end up going? It ultimately ends up in the hands of big businesses like Walmart. You think that's okay? I thought this administration wasn't for big business.
Let's be fair. It wasn't just Walmart. It was Target. It was Kroger. It was a couple of the other supermarket chains as well. So businesses are being affected by the handouts. They're also in line at Mother's Entitlement milk as well. Hey, Wayne. The Census Bureau, the last available numbers, 151 million Americans got aid from at least one federal program in 2011. That's almost half the country.
It's scary, Eric, because this is a model for a fascist economy. I don't mean politically, I mean economically. Fascism is where the big government, big labor, and big business are all combined together to control the economy, and that's what's going on. The government has effectively bribed big business to do this. You said, you mentioned Walmart. Out of $80 billion in this program, $18 billion of it was Walmart. Now, I'm not just picking on Walmart. You're right. It's all of these various, and they are being bribed by the federal government to be hand in glove with the feds to do this.
Right.
And I don't know any way you can stop that when you've got big business on the same side as the federal government.
Exactly, and therein lies the problem.
And
that's why we brought
capitalism.
that's why we brought it to this show, because we are free market, we're libertarian. We don't like it when corporations are doing the same darn thing that we're calling out the surfer dude or or the Obama phone lady. We call them out. We call everyone out equally. Let's talk. Play the soundbite of Nancy Pelosi talking about what the benefits of food stamps and unemployment insurance really are. Listen.
It's the biggest bang for the buck when you do food stamps and unemployment insurance.
So, John, biggest bang for the buck, or how about getting a job? How about working? How about look at this poor steel worker on a girder, risking his life, but he's earning, he's making a contribution to the economy, to life, to society, or just a handout from the entitlement class.
What Nancy Pelosi doesn't understand is no one benefits when people's rights are violated. And unfortunately now, the philosophy is that any need is the standard of value. So whether it's poor people, whether it's ethanol companies, whether it's green energy, whether it's steel workers, everyone has a right to your money. That is profoundly un-American. It's profoundly wrong. And government needs to get out of the business of choosing who has a right to your life, read your money. That's not the role. Right. It's to protect rights, not to violate them systematically, which is exactly what the entitlement state is.
Now take a look, Michelle. Take a look at the other picture over here. Here's a kid on the couch listening to me. He's got his beats on, his headphones on, and he's probably going to go pick up a check. Maybe not this guy specifically, but a guy just like him is going to go pick up a check at the unemployment office. Cato pointed out 35 states. You were better off financially to take welfare than to go to work.
Yeah, so what's the incentive to get Americans? Americans don't feel like there's an incentive to go work. It's better. It's a better deal to sit at home and collect the check than go out and look for a job. You make more money living off of the government. What kind of society is this that we're creating? And definitely, what kind of society are we showing the next generation, the younger generations, that they can sit on the couch and just collect a check?
And Juan, we've spent trillions upon trillions of dollars in assistance programs, and we know this. You and I have talked about this quite a bit. Poverty is at a 30-year high. The poverty rate is at a 30-year high right now, in spite of all the money we're spending. What is that? You're a smart guy. What does that tell you to do?
Wait a minute. Are you forgetting that we had a recession? That the things have been tough around here? And, I just can't believe that you guys go on, supposedly smart, compassionate conservatives, go on and on as if Americans don't want to work. Let me break it to you. People want jobs. People would love to get off the couch and go to work. And I don't know where you're talking about that crazy number about it's better to stay at home than go get a job. People want to work, and not only that, they'll make more money because they can move up.
When people are staying on unemployment longer and longer, when they really go out and get the job? About a week after the unemployment benefits run out. They find that that's the most aggressive that people are in the job search after the benefits run out. Yeah,
because they're desperate. So in other words, you guys want to give up America as a place that has a social safety net for our seniors, our disabled, and our children.
You just opened up a can of worms, Juan. Hey, wait, let me bring Wayne in here. Is America supposed to be a safety net, or is it a free market capitalist country where people come, they risk, they work, and they earn?
Well, I think, Eric, historically, that's true. In other words, all you've got to do is be a student of history and realize that when we have a strong economy, everybody benefits. When you have a weak economy, obviously the opposite happens. I want to come back to something, though, because I want to read you something that Jeffrey Immelt, the chairman of the board of General Electric, wrote in his report to shareholders in 2008. He said the following: "The interaction between government and business will change forever. In a reset economy, the government will be a regulator, an industry policy champion, a financier, and a key partner.
Yeah.
Boy, if that's not a definition for fascist economy, I don't know what is.
That is a socialist country. That is a socialist country. Jeffrey Himmel, by the way, hasn't really. Let's leave it right there. Let's we're going to move right on. You know, you can continue the conversation right now on Twitter. Hashtag Cashin, trending on Twitter. Get this 9 weeks in a row. Let's make it 10 and get your voice heard again. When Cashin trends, you trend. The underscore warning writes, a nation's real power is economic power. And the more government interferes in the economy, the weaker America becomes. Hashtag Cashin in. And Hilda's mom says, Obama is single-handedly bankrupting our country with his outrageous spending trying to save his face. Hashtag Cashin in. Coming up, all rise. It's the Obamacare war on business at the Supreme Court on the docket. Should companies be forced to cover contraception if it goes against their religious beliefs? We report. Now the court will decide.